Greetings! This is a short introduction to the Art History Library Guide, and it is intended for students of Fine Art History 102, Art and Ideas Art, and as Technology. My name is Margaret English, and I am the librarian at the Department of Art History Library at 100 St. George Street up on the 6th floor. Below is my email address, margaret.english@utoronto.ca, and you are more than welcome to contact me at any time with any questions that you might have. Today, we are going to gather information for your second assignment, and I understand that you need the following 3 items: an encyclopedia or dictionary entry, a museum website entry or essay, and an academic publication. And we'll take a look at all of these types of art history information. Once you have located one of each of these resources, you are supposed to compile a bibliography consisting of a full reference for each source, formatted accordingly to the Chicago Manual of Style, and we will give you examples. And you also have to do a summary of the source and a brief description of how it will be useful to your research. And this is also called an annotated bibliography, and we'll have examples of that later on. I tried to think of an interesting artwork to use as an example for this presentation, one that incorporated some aspect of technology. Then I remembered a cool piece that I saw some time ago at the Art Gallery of Ontario. It was a sculpture that consisted of a large vertical rod that had a buildup of frost on it, and there was some kind of cooling system in the work, and I could not remember the name of the work or the artist, so I did various word searches in Google and I found some cool results. Here are some results for a Google image search using the terms that I thought were best. I used the terms sculpture, refrigeration, and povera. The term povera is part of the arte povera movement that was prominent in Italy in the 1960s and 70s, where artists started using unusual and household materials. On the bottom here, I see something from the white cube, and I see an interesting piece that I think is comparable to the one I saw at the Art Gallery of Ontario. So I'm going to take a look at that. The White Cube is a very important commercial art gallery with offices in London and Hong Kong, and I know it's very important for contemporary art. So I'm going to accept this as a good site in which to get information. I see that the artist that I had in mind, his name is Pier Paolo Calzolari, and that this website provides an overview and examples of his work, and that in fact there was an exhibition there of the works by this artist. And indeed, he is one of the most respected artists involved with the Arte Povera movement. So that is good. I'm going to proceed with this as an example. This commercial gallery website provides some great biographical information, and it confirms that Calzolari was using this new signature material called frost, employing small refrigeration units and copper tubing. So I think that's a great example of technology in the art. The website goes on to explain what the artist was trying to achieve using these new materials. I guess refrigeration is a technology of sorts. The website provides a couple of works for me to look at, so I did, and the one that interests me the most is this one here, and we're going to click on that and see what that's all about. Okay, this piece looks quite interesting. It's called Combustio from 1970, and it is used creating a refrigeration unit on copper plates, neon, and a dimmer box. And I see that they provide dimensions down here, which is what we'll need for our assignment. And I do think that I'm going to use this example for our pretend assignment. So how do I cite this particular example for a bibliography? When I did a Google search on how to cite a website using Chicago style, that is the bibliographic style that we'll be using today, I get the best result, which is from the Purdue University, and their OWL's resource is fantastic for learning how to format things. Highly recommended. So let's click on this particular website to learn how we can cite that art gallery in our paper. Here's the proper bibliographic format for citing a website. A website needs a name, a title of a page. If you can find out who created it, you have to put that as the author and the publishing organization. And you need the date that you accessed it and the URL. So what would our citation for that white cube gallery look like? Down here. So you're welcome to use this as an example. Okay, so just by browsing the internet, we found great information from an important commercial gallery. Because I know the reputation of the white cube, I'm going to use it as our entry for a museum website. Yay! Check. If you're not sure that a particular website is scholarly, you are more than welcome to contact me and we can look at it together. Now that I have an artwork in mind, I'm going to take you on a tour of the Art History Research Guide. You get there from the main library page. And here is the little thing to click on, Research and Teaching, Research and Course Guides. So we'll click on that. And we get a list. We can search by search words, by subject, or by course code. So if you click in Guides by Subject and click on Art and then press Go, we will get the following. There are 15 wonderful library guides related to art, but the one that we're going to look at today is the first one, Art History. So if we click on that, we'll get the following. There's a lot of information on the tabs on the left here. Perhaps there's too information for your assignment. So what I've done is that I've boiled down the research steps into 3 basic ones for you. Getting started with encyclopedias, finding books in the library catalog, and then finding articles. So let's click on the encyclopedias link here. I'm going to take you to the Oxford Art Online, which is the best encyclopedia for art history. It is very scholarly, and it's a great resource. To get there, you're going to have to use your UTOR ID because we pay for this resource. So sign in and you'll get this web page. What I've done is that I've looked at arte povera as a term in Oxford Art Online. And then I get an article here that I'm going to take a look at. So let's click on this and see what we get. And then we get a fairly lengthy article about arte povera. And it is basically a coin termed by the important critic Germano Salent for a group of Italian artists, blah, blah, blah. And so it really speaks to the piece of work that I'm going to be looking at. So I think I will use this. One of the best features of the Oxford Art Online articles is that they provide a bibliography of the most important works on that particular topic. Also, if you click on Find It in the Library, you will be taken to the library catalog and to see if we have the book. In this case, Italian Art in the 20th Century, Paintings and Sculpture, I want to see if I can use that as my book part for this assignment. So it says here, when I click on the link, sorry, this item is not available online. We always assume that you want online material first. So if you click for a print edition at U of T, we'll see if the catalog has that. Well, it turns out that we have 4 copies. So the thing is, we want to see how we can get a hold of one. And what you do is you click on Options right here, and then you'll get this toolbar. And then you click on Request. So let's see what happens when we do that. Oh, it seems that this particular book is available online as part of the Hathi Trust Emergency Temporary Access Service Collection. The University of Toronto is now a participant in this Emergency Temporary Access Service, and that means that during U of T closures due to COVID-19, current students and faculty can read digitized versions of more than 2.5 million of the library's copyright print books that have been deposited in the Hathi Trust Digital Library. So you do have to log in order to do that, and we will show you how to do it. In order to access the material in the Hathi Trust, you have to read and agree with the above statement. Once you do that, you're taken to the catalog, And in this case, I have this citation that I was interested in, Italian art in the 20th century. And notice that it says it's limited search only. I also want you to notice the login button here at the very top. It's important for you to log in to get access to this book. So let's do that. You will see that you have to choose your partner institution. And when I do that, you'll get a list and you have to choose University of Toronto. So select that. And when you do, you'll see that this kind of access key is changed. So now we have temporary access to this online book, which is pretty good. So let's have a look at it. There's the title page. And I see in this book that there's an essay by Carolyn Tisdale, who's I sort of recognize, and it's called Materia, the Context of Arte Povera. So I think I'm going to use this book for my assignment. Okay, so I have decided that this is going to be a good book to use for the assignment. So I'll need to get the bibliographic information for the bibliography. So I'm going to go view the full catalog record. Now I have information such as the title and the publisher and place of publishing that I need for my bibliographic data. But notice also that we have some tools here, such as Cite This and exporting it into some bibliographic management software. If I click on Cite This, I'll get some options of what format I like. When I click on that Cite This button, I am offered different citation styles for the book that I want to use in my bibliography. The ones I do want to use are either Chicago or Turabian. I actually prefer Turabian. It's a version of the Chicago citation style. Okay, so I actually now have a book that I'm going to use, which I found in the bibliography using the Oxford Art Online Dictionary. So I've got a dictionary entry, I've got a gallery website, and I have that academic book that I just got on the Hathi Trust. I'm going to take you back to the library guide because there's something important that I want to show you. We've already looked at an encyclopedia entry in Oxford Art Online. We found a book online using that resource, and then we used the Hathi Trust to access it, a digital copy of that. But I also want to show you how to find articles. I've listed the most important databases that I think you should look at, and I'm going to take a look at the first one. This is the International Bibliography of Art, the IBA, and it's the recommended place for everyone to start. I typed in the name of the artist that I was interested in, and I'm going to take a look at the results. I want to show you also the type of information that you'll find in this particular database. It's not just articles. You'll get information about books, conferences, proceedings, dissertations and theses, exhibition catalogs, and all sorts of other literature on art history. Here are the results. I get 20 results, but I want you to take a look at this. This is quite important. There are only 4 scholarly journals about this artist in this database. The reason for that is because there's not a lot of literature about him, and the literature that is around is not in scholarly journals. He's in more type of magazines than academic journals. In fact, I wasn't very interested in any of these articles in this particular database. So the lesson is, if you don't find something in one database, go to another. Let's take a look at another database. I'm going to take you into the Art Bibliographies Modern. Because my topic is modern sculpture, this would be appropriate. This is not an appropriate database for, say, art. Renaissance art or stuff that's before 1850. So here I've typed in the name of my artist, and it's a fairly unique name, so I didn't put his first and middle name in there. And I see that in this database, I get 9 results, and that all 9 of them are from what are deemed scholarly journals. Notice the little mortarboard here indicating scholarly. So we'll take a look at one of those. Since there's only 9 articles, I think I'm going to spend some time kind of just checking them out. Why not? So I'm going to take a look at this one for some reason. I don't know. It's just about the art market and sculpture being damaged in transit, but it does mention our artist, Pier Paolo Calzolari. So we'll take a look. This article has nothing to do with the particular item that I want to research, and very little to do with the Arte Povera movement. But I did find an interesting factoid here. I noticed that there is a Fondazione Calzolari, and I wonder if they might be online and have information for me. When I looked for Fondazione Calzolari online, I did indeed find it, and it provides a treasure trove of information with a long biography and a bibliography, a list of all the exhibitions that he was in, videos, writings by the artists, and museum collections where his art resides. And there was a great lot of information and some full text provided, but alas, unfortunately, none of the material that he provided in his own bibliography is scholarly. It's mostly from newspapers. So that's not going to be good for this assignment, and we're going to have to go back to the drawing board. Okay, the last thing I'm going to show you is JSTOR. And you can always be guaranteed that whatever you find in JSTOR is scholarly and it is only journal articles. So let's take a look at good old JSTOR. Here is the search interface of JSTOR, and again, you'll probably need your UTOR ID to get into most of these databases. I was finding that there wasn't a lot of information in English about this particular Italian artist. So for that reason, I'm going to go a little broader in my search, looking for general information on the Arte Povera movement. I was looking for the information in a title because I don't want it to be kind of minor information. I want the article to be meaty about this particular subject. I'm going to take a look at this third article here. It kind of looks interesting to me. It says dematerialization from Arte Povera to cyber money through Italian thought. Dematerialization might be related to the use of non-traditional materials in the artwork that I'm looking at. So I'm going to take a look at this article, see what happens. Ooh, this does look like a good article for my topic. It speaks about the dematerialization of the art object as defined by Lucy Lepard and also Germano Salant, two important art critics. So I am going to use that. JSTOR always offers the ability to cite something in the style that you prefer, and here's the Chicago Manual of Style citation. However, notice that things are all in capital letters. That's not good. You can't use that for your bibliography, so you're going to have to type this one out yourself, but at least you have the proper format. So to recap, we found an encyclopedia entry in the Oxford Art Online. We found a museum or gallery entry in the White Cube. From the Oxford Art Online, we also found a book in the catalog, so we can do that. We've got a book. And we also found a journal article. So we've got 4 things instead of 3 things. So we've learned how to cite different things using the Chicago Manual of Style. So you have to cite images, you have to cite articles, you have to cite websites, you have to cite books. Also, you need to do a summary of the source and a brief description of how it will be useful in your research. This is otherwise known as an annotated bibliography. It is just a bibliography with a little annotation as to how it is useful for your project. I want to tell you a little bit more about annotated bibliographies and what they look like and how you can get examples. So we're going to go to Academic Writing Help in the tab here. Click on this, and you'll get a wonderful list of how to improve your writing. We encourage you to attend the Art History Writing Lab if you can. But down here is Writing an Annotated Bibliography. Click on there, and we'll get some examples. We are asked, what is an annotated bibliography? Basically, it just gives an account of the research that has been done on a topic, but yours is going to be very selected. So what you have to do is argue why you're using that particular resource. a key element is summarizing why that resource exists. What's the point of that particular article? And the last one that we were doing, it was basically an overview. So that is actually something worthy of saying. This article provides me a great overview of the Arte Povera movement, blah, blah, blah. People are asking me all the time, how long does an annotated bibliography entry have to be? And here's a good example of one. The answer is not long at all, maybe 1 or 2 sentences. What's the point of that publication and why are you using it for your topic? And you can probably do that in 1 to 3 sentences. To summarize, for your assignment, we covered these 3 basic steps for research. But I hope that you get an opportunity to explore the library guide further. There's some great information here. For example, if you do not know what type of artwork you want to use for your assignment, click on the Finding Images tab and you'll find some great stuff there. Online resources, you'll find some interesting websites from museums there and galleries. You'll find images. Podcasts in art history are always interesting. They beat listening to the news. And finally, if you want to talk to me about anything, click on the Help Contact and you will get me. Do send me an email if you have any questions. I will be happy to answer them at any time. Take care. Bye-bye.